Hi, my name is Heidi Coring, and I'm going to talk about digital signage. First, let's look at what digital signage is. Digital signage is electronic displays or screens that are centrally managed to deliver targeted information, entertainment, merchandising, and advertising. The uses are unlimited. I'm sure you've even seen some today. That they could be in fast food restaurants, retail stores, schools, highways, you name it, you've probably seen one today. So let's ask the question, why use digital signage? Well, first off, it enhances the customer experience. A customer can get more information from the product, and therefore it increases sales because they know more about it. For a business, in the long run, the cost to manage a digital sign is cheaper than changing static signs over the course of a year. There's three typical locations that one would see a digital sign at. The first is the point of sale, and that's just what it says. It's places that you would make a sale. For instance, a restaurant with menu boards or intelligent shelving. Have you ever gone into a store and you saw a pair of jeans and there were little displays, digital signs that told you the price and some information about the product? There's also the point of wait location, and that is when you're waiting for something. For example, you're waiting to get the oil changed in your car, or at the doctor's office, or in an elevator. That's point of wait locations, and the information that they put on them is typically general things like news, weather, and human interest content. The last is the point of transit locations. They are for people on the go, whether it's a train station or an airport. There's three key components that we'll want to look at when we talk about digital signage. The first is the screen or display itself. The second is the content that's displayed, and third is the system in which puts the content on the screen. Looking at the screens, we have the LCD screen, which is a liquid crystal display. It's a flat panel and it uses light properties of liquid crystal. This is the most common signs right now for outdoor signs. The LED displays, they're flat panel, they emit light diodes as pixels. The plasma screens, they're flat panel, they use electrically charged gas to illuminate the pixels. OLED, those screens are as thin as a poster, therefore they're expensive, and the thin film between the two conductors emit light. The screens moving ahead will continue to improve. Currently they're flat screen, curved screens, touch screens, gesture screens, and interactive like that. Looking at the types of content that you would see on a digital sign, with a static sign, we were limited to text and images. With the digital sign, you can include video, animation, RSS feeds, and interactive features. So the types of management that we want to talk about, there's two general types. First is premise-based, and that's when everything is on site. For example, the sign, the software, and the mechanism to produce it on the front sign. The advantages to that is control and security, and also there's not an ongoing cost. For example, a doctor's office could have a display out front, and somebody in the office could go into the computer and change what they want on the display. The other service is software as a service, and that is where you are actually paying a fee, a monthly fee. It's cloud-based, and the information can be changed over the cloud. You don't need to be on site. So the advantages of digital signs? Well, you could have multiple messages on one sign throughout the day. That's called day parting. For example, in the morning a sign might advertise coffee. Later in the day, the sign might advertise an evening TV show. The digital signs also allow interactivity. We all first got familiar with these signs when we go back to when the ATM machine first came out, and you would punch in your information and punch in how much money you want, and voila, you got money. That was our first, most of us became very familiar with digital signs at that point. Now I know when I order at a fast food restaurant, we place our orders right on the screens. Another advantage is it collects data. The sign can actually, some of the signs can actually determine the gender and age of a viewer, and then it'll display information that's appropriate for that person. It'll also analyze dwell times, so they can determine how long a customer looks at the sign. Therefore, it shows the interest in the product. And obviously, a big advantage is the fact that you can change the content quickly and easily. When I initially thought of digital signage, my mind went directly to billboards. Billboards date back to the 1800s. They did add lighting at night for visibility, and the first digital sign appeared in 2005. With the digital signs, as well as static signs, there's federal, state, and municipality regulations. And these regulations will control the placement, the size, the quantity, and the lighting. For example, they don't want the signs too close to the road, or they don't want too many signs right next to each other. And the lighting, they don't want flashing lights to distract drivers. Now with digital signs, a big concern is that it's a driver distraction. But what has been settled on the fact that if the sign is static for 4 seconds before it changes, they feel that's less of a distraction for a driver going by. If we look at how many digital signs there were in 2016 for billboards, there were 6,400 digital billboards in the US. When we have digital signage that's collecting information, we also need to have privacy regulations. First, they cannot collect information on individuals under 13 years old. And as we know, some companies can collect name, address, date of birth, your IP address, your usernames, your social media information. And if they are going to collect that information, they do need to provide you with their privacy policies. And if they're going to collect the real detailed information, like your address and your date of birth, there should be an opt-in or opt-out option. Let's look at some recent developments with the digital sign industry. The convergence of mobile devices, so they'll be interacting together. The 4K digital display, which has 14 horizontal pixels going across, so that will be ultra high def. The video wall deployment, which I'll talk about a company that's currently using that. Wayfinding, which is navigation. Emergency response systems. Social media interaction, and short range wireless. Rebecca Minkoff is the store I wanted to mention that's doing the video wall. They have a sign that looks like a mirror. However, the information on it is amazing. You can pick a different size, you can pick a different color of a shirt, say. You could ask for the item to be sent to the dressing room, or if the dressing room is not available, you could ask for them to notify you when it is available. They can show you different pictures of how to wear the product, if it's a shirt, how you could wear it, or what you could wear it with. Another company called Clear Channel Outdoor, they're using a system called Radar, and they're for outdoor billboards, and they will collect information from people driving by the sign based on mobile phone data. And then they will track to see if people that viewed the sign did stop at the store that was advertised on the billboard, which is kind of interesting. Another advancement is near-field communication. And with this, you would need a near-field communication-enabled device as well as a sign for it to work. For example, there could be a sign that is advertising a restaurant that has the near-field communication enabled in it. If you also had a mobile device that was enabled that way, you could tap your phone to the sign and you could get a menu and move ahead that way. They're also using the NFC for mobile payments, vending machines, and things like that. Augmented reality, this is really neat. This is when they'll take people and put them in real world environments or computer generated settings. For example, in this picture we have a dinosaur sitting on a desk, or you could take yourself and put you into the middle of a crazy busy center city street. And that's a lot of fun. Businesses are using that. As I mentioned earlier, the digital signs are being used for safety concerns. Wayfinding is a way to help people navigate where they are and how to get where they need to go. That's helping people. We're also using them for emergency response systems to notify people of things they need to know. For example, colleges are using them to notify students of lockdown notifications, as well as many other notifications. The current status of the digital sign industry. In 2014, there were 25.4 million connected digital signs worldwide. They expect by 2019 for there to be 63.8 million digital signs. As we move ahead, the most important markets that are using digital signs are museums and galleries, advertising and retail, communication, education, and entertainment. So if you're interested in digital sign industry for a job, it's a very large and growing industry, and it's full of career opportunity. If you have experience with computer science, graphic design, advertising, marketing, business information systems, you'll have the skills that are needed for that industry. There also is a digital sign expert certification that can be achieved. So, projecting into the future, there's going to be increased networking, increased speeds, increased collection of data, and therefore increased regulations. There will be increased interaction, whether it be voice, touch, gesture, you name it, they'll probably have it. There will be increased self-checkouts. As far as the projections, you'll see 2D, 3D, and even displays in the air. The downside of digital signage, there will be less interaction with real people. So, the question I leave you with today, what benefits do digital signs provide society, and what detriments do digital signs create? Thank you.